guys, there's a British commentator called Piers Morgan. I think you've heard of him. He seems kind of right-wing, I don't know. But he has a show called Piers Morgan Uncensored. So he's like a badass, right? He's going to tell it like it is. And he had a guest on, Pearl Davis. She's known as Pearly Things. I'll get to her in a moment. She says like a lot of really misogynist stuff against women. I think it's kind of a grift. It gets her a lot of attention. I don't know if she really believes it, but whatever. I'm against censorship. But they had her on not because of that, because she wrote a funny song that she played with a guitar. Why can't we talk about, and why can't we talk about, that event? And it was funny because she basically said it that way too, because in this world, there's certain things we can't talk about. Like we can't talk about influence and we can't talk about that event, right? And she did a joke saying, why can't we just talk about these things? No, why can't we talk about this man? And I think you guys understand what I'm saying. We've had to talk in code now because we're so censored. And at the end of the program, I'm going to link this broadcast. It's amazing. And of course, it was an attack. And Pearl Davis, I guess she's only 26 years old. I thought she did pretty well on it. I think they kind of tricked her. I think she was expecting to talk about feminism. But Pearl, this is how the mainstream media does it. They get you on, say they're going to be fair, and then, they attack you. And this is what happened. But she did pretty good, and they didn't show her whole song. And she said, well, my whole point of my song is I don't really have an opinion about, that man who was an artist from a country in Europe, and I don't have an opinion about that holy event or about, that group of people. It's just I think people should be able to talk about it because you can't talk about these things without getting censored. And Pearl made this quote, and I wrote it down. I think it causes more commotion if you censor people. And Piers Morgan of Piers Morgan Uncensored said, I disagree. That classic. And check it out. It is pretty funny. But I agree with Pearl on this. Things should be able to be discussed. And just because you prohibit discussion on a topic doesn't make it go away. And in fact, it leads credence to it. Because then people think, well, wait a minute, something is kind of fishy about a story, right? Because if you can talk about things and debate things, this is a Western scientific tradition, is everything's up for debate. People have kooky theories. They may think the world is flat, but you don't censor them, you show them how they're wrong. And if they still believe that, yeah, whatever. They believe the world's flat, they're idiots. And there's many different things, right, that fall into that category. But if something is verboten to talk about, it's really a red flag that something is not right with the story. That's basically my opinion on anything. I'm not saying anything in specific, YouTube, because this is on YouTube. I'm just talking in general, about the Civil War or whatever, and it's a red flag. And by censoring it, and when certain groups censor people talking about them, it kind of leads credence to the conspiracy. They have a power that's not healthy when other groups you can attack or you can question. Like anyone can question the resurrection of Jesus Christ. So people can say, this is ridiculous. I don't believe Jesus rose from the dead. And do we say, oh, you're resurrection denier. Oh, that's causing violence against Christians. Everyone would say, what the fuck? I mean, no, he just doesn't believe in the resurrection, or maybe someone doesn't even believe Jesus existed. I'm not in this camp. I'm a Christian. I believe Jesus was a real person. I believe in the resurrection. I get it, some people don't, but I don't want to censor them. And if they disagree with it, I don't assume, oh, they're just full of hate. They want to kill me. So it's self-defense. I got to shut them down. I mean, that's a real primitive way of thinking, but that's the atmosphere we're in right now of trying to silence thoughts. And that never really works because, again, people talk about it, it becomes more known. People are like, well, wait a minute, this doesn't really add up. And this really brought me down this path on a certain subject. I think it was in the 80s when I saw someone had questions about it, and I'm like, well, that's ridiculous. And I'm like, well, whatever, I'll check into it. And then I was like, oh, geez. And I'm not saying what subject it is, because you can't talk about this subject. I'm like, okay. And it's something that it would be nice if you could say, okay, here's some of the things that just aren't really adding up. Could you explain it? But you're not even allowed to do that. And of course, I'm talking like about the Civil War, but just for YouTube, I'm talking about the Civil War. What caused the Civil War? But see, we're in this. It's crazy. As Americans, we shouldn't have to talk like this, and we have to just like, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying, right? Yeah, okay, we can't say because because they are censoring, and we can't, That is how everyone has to be, and it's not really healthy. I think when you get it out in the open, then people that have the wrong ideas, you can say, oh, okay, you believe this, well, you're stupid. Here's the evidence, here's the facts. And as part of the process, you should be able to debate the facts. And if you're just silencing people by censoring them, or in some places you could be thrown in jail, that doesn't prove your argument. That just actually proves that there's probably something wrong with your position. If you fear it, you're not going to debate it, you're just going to throw people in jail. It's like, Galileo, we're going to throw you in jail. How dare you say that the Earth goes around the sun instead of the other way? I thought we were beyond that, but we're not, and it's really sad. So Pearl Davis, I don't know. She seems kind of sweet, but at the same time, she comes across a little bit as I hate to use the term grifter, and she's doing real well on YouTube. She's got over 1 million subs, but I always thought with her anti-women stuff is what she's doing is she's going to pretend to be a misogynist, and then she's going to announce, no, I was just playing a role, and here's my expose into the dark belly of misogyny. I was kind of figuring a video like that will be coming out. I don't know, maybe she is sincere. The stuff she says is so outrageous, so I'm kind of thinking she's trolling. But she's got to be careful, because they're definitely they will shut her down on YouTube if she continues to explore this. Now, the video that she put up, I can't link to that. I don't even want to link to that on YouTube. Maybe I'll post a link on Rumble. Her little song she did, it was kind of funny, and she posted that on Twitter, and she got a lot of hate for it. And she didn't say anything directly, but even indirectly. I mean, we're having to be careful how we say anything now, and it's really a sad commentary of where we are in this country. And it's not even about the subject. This video I'm doing now is not about any specific subject. I believe any historical or medical YouTube or anything else should be up for debate and free discussion. And no, you shouldn't have speech where you're saying, oh, let's go kill someone. No, not like that. But where you can discuss it. Like, I don't agree with your religion. I don't think Jesus really rose from the dead. And you should be allowed to say that. And just because you say that doesn't mean you have hatred and you're trying to inspire violence against Christians. No, so you have a different opinion. Or about a medical event, which I can't talk about on YouTube, but hypothetically, if there's some medical event that you had questions about, it'd be nice if you could talk about it, as we found out, because a lot of people, they took the wrong advice, and yeah, it's not good for them. So this is why freedom is so important. And it's really weird, because now if you advocate for freedom and free discussion, they're like, you're a Nazi, you want free speech, that's a Nazi. It's like, where the hell did this come from? They used to say that the opposite way. It's sort of like now, if you're pro-peace, you're against war, you're a Nazi, you right-wing bigot, you just want peace, that's Nazi position. It's just crazy, it's a loony world. So anyway, good luck with Pearl Davis, and I thought she did a good job, even though it was kind of an attack interview. You can check out the interview here, link to it, and we will see. I would like to have her on my show, just kind of discuss things. We can't talk about that, or about them, or we can't talk about a lot of things, but it would be interesting. Thanks, guys. And if you want to check out every other day I do a video that's just for my Gumroad supporters or Substack or Twitter subscribers. And I did one yesterday about Texas, and I think it was pretty good, so you can check that out. So check that out. Talk to you guys later.